Well, new outrage over the Washington Redskins name as a pair of lawmakers now writes to the NFL commissioner, saying the league is on the wrong side of history and it's, quote, inappropriate for the league to, quote, profit from the degradation of tribes. We're awaiting a response from the NFL, but the Redskins were quick to react, saying in part, Senator Cantwell should be aware that there are many challenges facing Native Americans, including an extremely cold winter with high energy bills, high unemployment, life-threatening health problems, inadequate education, and many other issues more pressing than the name of a football team which has received strong support from Native Americans. Lauren Ashburn is a Fox News contributor and media buzz analyst, and she thinks there is more at play here than just a name. Lauren, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Why does this keep coming up? I mean, I know they haven't changed it, but they said they're not changing it, period, end of report, and yet it's not going away.
It's been happening since the 70s. Columnists have been writing about this. Look, it has politics, it has race, and it has sports. What else do journalists want to write about other than that?
So wait, let me stop you there. Is it a public-generated controversy, or is it a media-generated controversy?
It's a media-generated controversy. If you look at the polls that have been conducted 10 years ago, 90% of Native Americans say they don't care. It doesn't matter to them. The general public doesn't care. 8 out of 10. And Goodell said that. The NFL commissioner said that just very recently.
Right.
It's not an issue that people are caring about. The media is enabling a very few people here to make big news.
Why? I mean, I know the Washington Post, some of the Washington Post sports columnists will not use the word Redskins. Neither will some other newspapers across the country. So why do they take a stand when the vast majority of people don't think it's an issue?
Well, it's a good question. You should ask them, because they're obviously letting their bias get into their reporting and their writing.
Well, but let me ask you this. In defense of them, let's say it was something that was unquestionably offensive. You know, let's say there's some football team that uses the N-word in its name.
Sure.
And for some reason, the polls didn't reflect outrage. And you have a few principled journalists who say, I don't care what the polls say. I'm not going to say it.
I hear what you're saying.
I'm going to keep pressing this issue. Because there was a time in this country when the majority thought the way we treated blacks was just fine. And it took the voice of a vocal few to start a sea change.
Sure, but this voice has been going on since the 70s, and the public opinion isn't changing. And so when you see articles that are put in the New York Times, and they put the whole letter in, and they wrote a full piece about it. And
by Maria Cantwell.
That's right, and right.
Senator from Washington.
Right, and Cole. They actually read the whole thing, but they don't say, oh, look, but not a lot of people are really, really this upset about it.
They don't offer the context.
Right, right. I mean, Washington itself as a city and all of the horrible stuff that's going on in Washington is more offensive to many people than Redskins. They should just take up the Washington and not the Redskins.
Well, as they point out, there's a lot of issues in the Native American community that could use addressing. And there's a question about how important this one is. Lauren, great to see you.
You too.
Thank you.